got the mower in. The mower now needs to be serviced, ready for haymaking, ready for silage. So I'll just get Keith here to talk you through what he's going to be doing. He's part of the way through it, so we'll just have a little word with him, see what he's up to.
I'll be here all day, Matt. All day.
All day. So talk us through it then. What job have you got to do on this then, Keith?
Just change all the gearbox oils, the bed oil in the cutting bed.
Yeah.
Which I've just done. There it is there. It's the evidence. So basically all the gearbox oils, gear oils in all the gearbox, the main drive gearbox up there. At the top, if you look at that big gearbox.
This thing here, right on top, where the PTO goes in, yeah?
Main drive gearbox, and then the two on the headstock at the front. Where it
There's oil in there as well, is there?
There's two there to do. So those two, that one in the bed.
Yep. And do you change blades as well, Keith?
Yeah, new set of blades and bolts. So the bolts and the blades. Check the tyres. Check the belt. Condition belt.
Oh yeah, that runs the conditioner underneath.
Yeah, that runs the down the back there. If you look at the back, you can see it.
That under there. And what does that do, Keith?
That bruises the grass.
So it cuts it and then bruises it, and
yeah,
that's what
goes
for
that and bruises it, knocks it.
For a faster dry.
Yeah, dries quicker. And give it grease. Grease all the UJs and the PTO shaft.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. And you, I noticed this morning, Keith, you had it, you were running it up, weren't you?
Yeah. Just get all the oils warm so they come out easier.
So everything just flows out nice and easy, like on your car.
Gear oil is quite thick, so
yeah.
The warmer it is, the better.
So you warm it all up and it all flows out nice and easier.
Yeah, that's the bed. Put it on a tilt. We run one wheel up on a block, one side, so it tilts it, and then drain it all out the end.
Yeah, and then fill it back up that way.
Well, there are fill bungs in the bed, but I always tip it back the other way and fill it from the end because it's quicker.
Right, well, Keith will go on with that. How old is this mower then, Keith?
2012, I think.
Right, a good mower.
Yeah, it's a good mower.
So he'll be changing gearbox oils in here and here, and then greasing all these shafts along that. We'll let Keithy get on with that. I've got a time lapse on it, so we'll see what that turns out like. Last night, me and the old man were around here, and we've got the water barrels around here. This is one of the cow sheds, but what we want to do is get the floor as clean as we can. So we soak the floor multiple times, 2 or 3 times, then we'll bring the old Ford in with the brush on, get everything out. It's just an in-case barn. If you want to store some hay, if you want to store some straw, blah blah blah, it's nice and clean, ready to go. You've got to soak it so you can get every little bit of it. So that's what we've been doing there. We use the old Bowser with the hose. Just, yeah, you get the idea there. So this is the carving pen. You can put one each side, and we were in here last night just cleaning that out. Just got a few, but we've got the shed to come out yet, so it's not completely finished. We'll get the water in here and wash this out as well. The weather is looking like it's going to start getting drier, so we will probably by the end of the week be getting some of these sheds out.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's be free with me.
the old man's going to bring tractor in now, start sweeping. We've had this soaked 3 times over now, and we just use the Bowser, start the brush up. We love this little brush on here. What he'll do is just sweep it into our muck pile, and then it'll all go out with the muck. And we'll have to bring the Bowser in again, wash everything down once more time, sweep it out again, and that usually leaves it pretty clean. New blades on the bed, so new oil throughout, grease up everywhere. But last year he was just telling me they got a new spring, and around the back here, this is the spring, if you can believe it or not, that's the same spring. And down the bottom, you look at the hook, just here, the spring let go last year. So you got to keep yourself going. So Peter welded it back up, and it's actually been fine, but we're going to put the new spring on as we got it, and saves any more mishaps down the road. First hiccup of the day. Put the keys in the ignition, go to check the oil, shut the door locks. We haven't got a spare. It's not the first time either. I won't tell you who did it, but it was the farmer. We got a guy coming to open it back up for us. We're going off to do some fencing, so that's what we're at today. We're over at Peter's farm again. Got an old bit of fence in here that just looks a bit naff and terrible, so we're going to be doing some fencing, and I'm not going to take you through it all the way. I've got a time lapse set up, and I'll show you what it looks like after. We're going to post and rail everything. We've got the digger here, we've got the Manitou, we've got a load of new fencing for it, so it should look smart afterwards. Tidy it up a bit. That looks a little bit better. We don't claim to be fencers or anything, but we like to leave a smartish job, you know. We've just put up, just moved the fence here as well, because we'll sometimes set the pen up here when we're TB testing the cattle down the bottom. We'll just run them up the lane and set the pen up there. Just a bit of tidying away to do, and yeah, job done. It's alright, isn't it, Pete? Yes, yes. A couple of posts that went in a bit iffy, and they stuck out like a sore thumb, so we had them back out, put them back in again. Time to do it is when you're there doing it. Don't leave it and then regret not putting it right. Yeah, we've been mending some other fences around the farm as well, just fixing some of the posts and gates that got on a bit loose. Happy with that, Keith?
Yeah, spot on.
Good job. Me and the farmer are going to go and do a bit of spraying. Farmer does the spraying on his spraying, but we drag around the Bowser for him. But I just wanted to show you out the front of the tractor there. You can see the that's the field of barley, and a week ago that was a green field, but you can see what the wet's doing to the field. It's changing the colour, but the weather is changing, so we should see a difference in that in the next 4 or 5 days. Get a bit of sunshine on it, and hopefully it all comes back to life and it doesn't hurt it too much. The farmer does contracting spraying for various people, So each farm will have their own storage, so they've got their own spray containers, all sprays kept in there. They've got their own water supply, which is really handy for us. It means we don't have to travel very far to go and get water. Just hooked up to the water line at the bottom there. There's a pump attached to the side of the Bowser. At the minute it's running, and it's sucking water in out of this tank here, putting it in that tank there. There's a little dial up here. There's a little dial here, just wiggle that about sea level, and this thing will go green over a year, and we have to nearly every year put a new clear pipe on there just to sea level, but it's about here at the minute. That'll take about, I don't know, 20 minutes to fill? No, maybe 15 minutes to fill. Got a grid plate in the back there, so if you have any spillages or anything like that, it's all contained within the Bowser. It's a good unit. This has done really well. I can't remember when they had it made, but Lynn used to be on it. So that's why it says Bowser Woman. A bit embarrassing for me. But yeah, so we're going to fill it up, and then we will meet up with the farmer out in the field somewhere. We'll drag it over to him, so he doesn't have to keep coming all the way back to the water tank. We can take it to him, and it means he can do a lot more acreage in a day. I've noticed we're on rescue 1, obviously. I haven't driven it for a while, but noticed the other day we've got a bit of fuel leak, and it's coming from this top, coming from in there. So we've got a new gasket on the way. It's not spilling out all over the place, it's just vapour. Yeah, now we wait for the farmer. It's been so wet lately, field conditions are a little bit tender, so we're having to pick and choose where we go a little bit. The farmer will be just a couple of fields over, and he'll be working his way this way, so this is the midpoint. He'll come and fill up from us, and it saves him having to run all the way back to the farm, fill up, and then drive all the way back here. Just saves him a lot of time. If you remember, we were over at Astley Bridge a few weeks ago, and they were just about to start lambing, and yeah, they got some sheep and lambs out here, so looks like they've been doing all right. Always nice to see the lambs in the field. There's a couple more this side. Let's have a little look. Look at this guy in the corner, look. Stuck. Oh, Matt saves the day. Don't worry, boys, I'll save him. Lambs like to get themselves into sticky situations. He's got his head poked through the fence. You can't go that way, mate. You've got to come the other way. Hang on, you've got a thorn on your face. It's alright, boys, I saved him. Go on then. Off he goes. There you go, that's the common trait of a lamb. Why would he go into there, look? Stingers, thorns, and they do that all over. They jump in the rivers. People say lambs are born to die, and that's the reason. They're crazy. They're all over the place, and you don't get no thanks. If we get a day where we can do it, we'll do a spraying video with the farmer. But he's got a bit on today, so we're not going to bother him too much. He's just filled himself up. We'll go and fill the Bowser up again for him, and then we're going to go and see Keith and Peter. Got an old fence here. It's only to keep sheep in. The most of it ain't very good, but we're just trying to make it good, put a few posts in, keep it all together. It'll do a job. It's not one of my favourite jobs. I think I've hit my thumb more times than I've actually hit the staples so far, so it's going well.
I bet this gets edited out.
How many strikes, Keithy? There's 3, 4.
Bingo.
That was one of my best ones yet.
Do another, just to prove us right.
It won't be. This one will be terrible. Look at that! That was a fluke. It's usually 50 strikes, 50 strikes, some swearing, and then
50 strikes and 10 of those hit the stage floor.
me and Keith were just admiring the view. All of that is Peter's farm. You see where it's all yellow in the field? That's all the wet. But hopefully if it stays like this, it should go back to the right colour. And the one at the end of this yellow field is the Timothy field, and you can see the Timothy field in the background over that way. Yeah, you can see for miles. Really cool. So the van locked itself, so we had to call a locksmith out, obviously, to get back in the truck. But the door was slightly ajar, and Linda came across and saw that it was slightly ajar, bumped it with her bum, and it closed, and then the van reopened itself by some miracle. So the guy got here, and the van opened itself. But yeah, so that was quite strange. But yeah, we've got that sorted out. We're gonna have to get a new key for that, I think. Right then, so to finish the day, we're just gonna go and fill the Bowser back up. We'll quite often leave the Bowser in certain places because he's got 2 fill-ups from the Bowser. So we can leave it halfway point between where he's spraying, and he can go back and to from it, and it frees up the guy on the Bowser then for a few hours to go and do something. So I went and helped Peter and Keithy do a bit of fencing, and now, yeah, that's the end of the day. We're going to go fill the Bowser back up, probably the end of the video as well, because tomorrow we got the Red Tractor Assurance man coming out to the farm, and it's his job to make sure everything is fit for Red Tractor Assurance. And due to COVID last year, he wasn't able to come out. He is coming tomorrow, so yeah, the farmer will be busy with him tomorrow. I'll let you know how we get on with that on the next video. Oh yeah, and yesterday, poor old Pete had his fingers in my door, and I shut the doors on his fingers. So sorry, Pete, about that. Again, he's fine. He didn't break any fingers. He's gonna be all right. He tried pulling a sickie today about it. I don't know what he's moaning about. It's just a little door slam. Gotta get over. Sorry, Peter. Sorry about that, mate. Yeah, a little bit of everything this week. I've tried to get different jobs throughout the week that we've been up to, make it a bit more interesting for you guys at home. If you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Merch in the description. If you want to get yourself a 4 Winds t-shirt, head down to the description, get yourself one of those. And yeah, thanks very much for watching as always, and we'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.